People who have won chess games, how the F?
Gun. Trial and error against a friend of mine took 10 matches, but I finally pulled it off. Practice. My dad taught me chess. We are not great players by any means, but it took me till the age of 32 to beat him. It was a great moment for me, I will always remember it. It kind of gets down to foreseeing what your opponent's position is and then counting their number of moves, their cost, compared to your options, your cost. You kind of have to play their game and your game at the same time and choose your options that reduce your cost or increase their cost. You just have to be less worse than him. My 10-year-old son sat me down to teach me. We played one game and I won. I had no idea what I was doing. We've never played again. My parents are from the USSR. I got the chess genes in my body. It's best if your opponent has no idea what you're doing. I mean, obviously you yourself should know what you are doing. You don't know what you're doing, your opponent also doesn't know. Beat a friend of mine who played a few years simply by having no idea what I am doing and just thinking move to move. Realized that I could have set him checkmate about 6 moves ago, but was too dumb and still lost my queen. Once one of my classmates sacrificed his queen to save a peon. Anyway, that's out of context from the question, but it was a funny chess story. My brother making one wrong move for once. Checkmate. I used a certain opening, I can't remember now as I haven't played in about 3 years. It protected the king, queen and knights because they are important. I really don't remember the rest, but I was one of the best players, on a chess team. I'm not even a strong player and I have won a few games. Keep practicing. You just have to play against a lot of different opponents. Even better if they're more skilled than you are. If you do that enough, at some point the average player will just seem, well, average to you. We don't win, you lose. It's all strategic, you gotta think 2 moves ahead, if I did this he could do that, blah blah. Play with yourself, switching sides so you always get the W. Only do that if you really suck at chess. Heck, I've played 3 times and 2 of them were me versus me. That was when I was grade 4. Going to grade 5 soon in maybe August. Weird thing I did in chess, I played 2 of my cousins back to back. The older was one of his high school's best players, the younger had never even seen the game played before. The younger watched me beat the older, then asked to play me, and proceeded to beat me. One thing I've noticed teaching chess at my school is that kids automatically go defensive, or have a save that piece till later attitude. They're scared to use their queen or rooks in case they make a mistake or lose them, which makes it fun when I play a very attacking game early on. Noobs. That's how. Unethical chess pro tip. Redneck here. Offer them free beer and they can, and make sure yours are pre-filled with water or soda. You tend to start dunking on them after the 4th beer. It's sometimes down to skill, and most of my friends who I play have similar techniques, so I use a similar strategy but do different things as the game goes on, like how I always move my right knight first, then either move it again or my left knight, and my friends usually do the same. Training. Sorry, I meant cheating. Play as much 1-minute chess as you can. I had a 10-year-old absolutely fuck me in chess. I really suck at chess, but I didn't think I'd lose that bad, especially to a 10-year-old. The thing I enjoy most about chess is the mind games behind it. Unless they're talking about competitive chess. In casual chess, you can take your own sweet time thinking about every move to make just to wear thin your opponent's patience, and as long as our opponent isn't a pro chess player, like my dad, who's way too fucking patient, then there's a higher possibility of them making a stupid move. Something I've taken away from chess is that no matter how bad a situation may seem, there's always a way, because your opponent isn't a little guide and will have openings somewhere. There's mind games in competitive chess as well. You gotta make someone think you're playing one way when you're really doing something else. People tend to be super engrossed in their own strategy, they overlook pointless moves that the other person might do, so yeah. I imagine every outcome and pick a strategy. I have only won 1 time in my entire life. In my school there's this 1-week event that we have to collect a certain amount of points by participating in or watching sports or games. Amount of points vary depending if you're playing or watching. Me and my friend wanted to leave school early, so we looked for a quick game to do. We stumbled upon a chess tournament and saw it gave quite a lot of points whether I win or not, so me and my friend entered. We planned on losing our games so we can get the points as soon as possible, but the guy I was challenging, who was also my friend, was planning to throw the game too, so we came to an agreement that involved him losing and me winning. So that's how I obtained my only ever win on chess, by my opponent deliberately trying to lose. Someone's gotta win, man shrugging, BTW I suck at chess too. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. She was going easy on me. I'm smart and I predict what the other person is setting up. I practiced a lot and was really motivated by my Lord of the Rings chess set. Probably wouldn't be half as good if I played on a regular set. People who are good at chess, how the fuck? By playing people, or my cat, who aren't as good at chess as me. This means I can only play newbies or my cat. Wait, you can win? Play against noobs, simple. Play inferior opponents. A few times when I have played superior players who were showing a strong logical attack, I would make a Kirk to Spock move, something a bit unpredictable. Amazingly, it worked on occasion. It took years of humiliation by my opponent, my one classmate, but in time I learned it and it was worth it. Play against someone who sucks even more than you. Man, I know I ain't smart, I usually time people out and win. Play against yourself, win guaranteed. A couple of things. Defend, when your pieces move, have others cover them. By this I mean make it so if an opponent captures the piece, you can capture that opponent's piece. Force your opponent to react, threaten his pieces so that your opponent reacts to you instead of going by their plans. Practice, just like anything else you will get it with experience. All of the major openings contain traps. You have to memorize at least the first 8 moves of most of them, including where the traps are, to have any chance of beating even a moderately skilled opponent. As a side benefit, occasionally you'll lead an opponent into a trap he doesn't know about. That's for human opponents, though. The amount of work necessary to be competitive against even a shoddy modern computer chess program is generally not worth putting in my opinion. Hope the other guy isn't good at chess either. Play against level 1 bot. Level 3 is a no-no for me. Play with a toddler and you can win too. I've been losing to this little fucker until he got distracted by Baby Shark playing on TV. I quickly ruled against him and won the game. Brilliant! It's pretty easy once you set up a troop, especially for the king, and lure your opponent's king out. I usually lose, but the few I did when I just played chaos chess. Zero movement plans at all. Just went about tossing my pieces wherever and moved the king around a lot. That seems to throw some people off. A lot of practice and losing to good chess players. Also, learning nice strategies helps as well. Think ahead of time. Watch every piece that isn't a pawn unless it's making its way to your side of the board. Sometimes you need to sacrifice certain pieces to take out an important one of theirs. The king and the rook can switch places if there's nothing between them. Have multiple backup plans. Edit. Also, there isn't really a strategy out there that allows you to win at most games of chess without actually having to do much thinking. Stop trying to find an easy way out and actually practice. Learn about what works for you and what doesn't. Just play against your little brother. Play against idiots. Source: idiot here. I usually play against my 6-year-old, she's not very good but she has a steep learning curve and will be able to beat me someday soon. 7 tips I have. 1. Think about ranges, not hands. 2. Ditch your favorite hand. 3. Adopt a consistent strategy. 4. Always have a reason. 5. Know when to fold your aces. 6. Realize tilt only hurts you. 7. Don't play in bad games. Also, don't bluff too frequently. Play less experienced players. Try not to think about a strategy to win, but rather how can I cause my opponent demise. Create scenarios of 6 to 7 moves ahead if you're planning on creating a trap to see if it benefits you. They claimed they were tired after I beat them as an excuse. Keep the pressure on your opponent. Force him to constantly defend his king. The more he has to protect himself, the less he can threaten you. 1. Let them start to lose. 3. Equip the silencer. They can say they beat you when they can say anything. Ignore any banter from the opponent or spectators. Psyching out your opponent is for gambling/luck based games that are out of your control. The chessboard is under the control of the players, not outside forces. Also, brute force doesn't always work. Whittling away piece by piece becomes more and more effective as the game goes on. I was in middle school and went to chess club because my favorite teacher was running it. He was going easy on me when he was helping me learn, but I enjoyed it. I used the computer bot on the impossible mode and did all their moves. Get good! I'm terrible at chess, but I just put it on the easiest mode. I still know the rules, I just don't think about it. The computer lets me win. When I play chess, we just blast the king whenever Teresa chants. It's not as exiting as normal chess. I assume you have barely played, therefore you will play people that have barely played. So scholars made. More seriously though, the 10 golden moves, and look up some openings and lines. The only tip I can give is to think moves ahead. Don't tell your opponent they're in check. Perfect for beginners. Use stockfish. There are plenty of different strategies, and they are all valid. However, it simply comes down to 2 things. 1. Losing less pieces than your opponent. 2. Controlling the majority of movement on the board. A helpful tip is if you know you lean too much on certain pieces, queens, rooks, knights, then play a few games without them. If you are playing another inexperienced player, then trading queens, taking theirs down but losing yours as well, will usually have a devastating effect on their strategy. I'm a huge chess nerd. I like to think that it's a sport because I can't throw a basketball into a hoop or kick a soccer ball into a goal. If chess was a sport, I would be athletic. I went to a tournament that the chess club at my school set up and won first place in the intermediate section. So here are the best ways to win. 1. Make sure your pawns are never doubled. 2. Advance your knights in the beginning of the game and don't move them to the sides because they have a smaller range there. 3. Move your pawns at the very left side and right side up 1 space so when you advance your knights, the bishops can't threaten to capture them. 4. When you get further into the game, try to castle with your king and rook. 5. Try to keep rooks connected with each other and bishops connected with pawns. 6. Always have your queen somewhat near your king. There's a lot of more ways to win, but those are some of the best ones. Have a teacher in grade 1 who teaches chess instead of regular school. Join his chess club. Win 2nd place in 5 tournaments. Slowly stop playing chess because 2nd place is not good enough for you. Look back and wish as a child you continued playing chess. It's a hobby that I practice daily. The shortest best advice I've ever got was keep control of the middle 4 squares of the board. Easy to win if your opponent is yourself, but you'll also lose. I am a chess master, fighting master, and never thought I would get to answer this question on AskReddit, as I don't talk about chess much at all on this account or on Reddit in general. PM me if you want to talk about chess, or if anybody wants to play some games, and perhaps I could help you out with getting started. Just follow simple chess principles and you should be good.
With